Okay, I'm recording. So the whole point of this call is just to kind of like get you going for the new year because I think that's something that's very hard to just do on your own. You kind of have to be in a team setting and a team mindset to do that. And I've got Alexis and Angela and Carly are all going to say something as well. So my time is going to be really, really short. If I can do that, because you guys know I'm kind of long-winded. But I first wanted to go and show you how to get to the coach game plan in case you still don't know how, because I'm going to reference it anyway. So what you're going to do, okay, you're just going to go to the Team United Legacy page in Facebook. If you're not a member of that, request to be. I swear I'm working on updating this, by the way. But I'm going to go to, they changed it, so now it's really difficult. You're going to go to files, the file section. And someone was saying in our group message last night, is that for March? Yes, I did this and like completed it and then completed it and then recompleted it in March. I did it like 4 times just because I edited it so much. So it's way down here, March 3rd. So the coach game plan, if you have no copies of this at all, you're going to want to print this one off. And then for every month there is of the year, you print off one of these. So this is like the refill pages just for the month. And the reason why I did it that way was because some people are going to join our team in like July, and I didn't want to just have all these empty blank pages for them that they wouldn't use. So here's the coach game plan. And I'll open that and show you guys. And I'm going to be very honest, like I say it in the doc and everything. It is ripped from Moira Kusaba, but I give her all the credit. The reason I don't just say, hey, you guys, you should go buy Moira's planner is because there was just a few things about it that I wanted to make more personal to coaching. So Moira is a coach, and she created this game plan for her coaching business, but it was still very generalized so that any other business could buy it, like someone selling Monet could buy it and they could use it as well. And I wanted it to be just for coaches. So I completely changed a lot of it, but I used her structure. Let me go full screen here. How do I do this? So that's why I did that. I just want to clarify that because as an English teacher, former, I want to make sure I'm giving credit where it's due. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is vision. You can go through and you can read all the things in this, and I very much challenge you to do that because I included them in there for a very good reason. Moira is a master. She's so good. She is in the top 10 for like the past 3 years for a reason. And by the way, I just have to I have to vent for just a second. So far, they have already canceled New Leaders Conference for Carly and Alexis. They've also canceled the Success Club trip. I don't know if you guys caught wind of that and if you saw that. And that makes it very, very hard for me. Very hard for me to set a vision. I'm just gonna go ahead and be honest, lay everything out on the table. Here's why. Half of you, not even half, almost all of you haven't even been to an event yet because they were all canceled last year. And so when I'm sitting here talking about elite and walking across the stage and all the things, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about because all that was ripped out from underneath this last year. And it's still being ripped out from underneath this. So I'm going to have a really hard time describing all of this and doing all of this and giving you guys a solid, what my vision is going to look like. Because honestly, I'm in the process of rewriting mine right now. Just real talk. Because I don't want to write a vision that I think could be taken from me again. I've done it too many times where it's just hurt me too many times and I have trauma and I'm sad and I'm mad and I've had lots of pity parties. And I try not to bring that baggage to you guys, but it's been really freaking hard to have actually met all my goals and get to celebrate none of them. Just so you guys know. The whole point of going elite back up. The whole point of going premier 2 years ago was because I wanted to show my team what was possible so that when they saw me walk across the stage, they would get that vision for themselves. Well, guess what didn't happen? And I wanted my husband to see me walk across that stage so that he could see all my hard work. And guess what didn't happen? Like, I still did the things and I still worked hard and I still hit my goals, but the reason why I hit them was gone. So I just want to be very clear, and I'm getting choked up. Like, even right now, I was like, we got elite in November, and I was like, yes, we're going to go on that Success Club trip. I'm going to show my team what elite's going to earn them someday. I get to show you nothing now. I get to show you nothing. There's another carpet ripped out. I don't really know how much more I can take of that. So I'm just going to be very honest with you guys on that front. That was a huge part of my vision. Those little baby steps were just very big things. But I do also know that God does everything for a reason, and that he's teaching me a lesson and he's humbling me and all the things, but it doesn't mean it's easy. So there's my life displayed out for all of you guys to see, some of the pain that I'm going through right now. But anyways, so with these contrast statements, we're just going to go right back into this after saying all that. With these contrast statements, you're going to write things about your life that you don't like. And that's hard for us to do because we've been told that you're not allowed to not like anything about your life. We've been told that if you don't like something, you're ungrateful. And that's not true. It's just not. Like, you have to not like things to get better. So for me, one of those things that I don't like about myself is that I sleep in with my alarm clock. Like, I turn it off and I say it doesn't matter. My bed's too cozy, and I choose comfort over my goals and my dreams. And so that's one thing I don't like. I don't like that about my life. Another thing I don't like about my life is that I'm unorganized. I will get organized for like Monday and Tuesday, and then it just falls to the wayside toward the end of the week. Another thing I don't like about my life is that my kitchen's falling apart. I'm just good. Again, I'm just airing it all out for you guys. I literally have the drawers on my kitchen. They're like falling off. They're breaking and shredding because this house was built in 1948, I believe. And that the kitchen has literally never been updated. So I don't like that. I don't like that my kitchen's falling apart. That is a pain point for me. So that's a contrast statement. Another thing that you can say, like, another thing is, I don't know how to invite, or it's scary, or it feels icky. Like, all those things about your business and your life, like, write that down here. This becomes like a mini counseling session. Hey, buddy. This will become a mini counseling session for you. And it's going to be hard because there's going to be a lot of things that you need to write on this list, but you don't want to admit that you need to write on this list. Sometimes it's your marriage. Sometimes your marriage kind of stinks because you're not working on it. Or maybe it's your parenting. Maybe you're really short and impatient with your kids. And at the end of every day, you're like, man, I could have done so much better. So those pain points are what's going to completely change your life come the new year. I know a lot of those have nothing to do with coaching, but like, if you can elevate your life in parenting, in your marriage, in all these places, it's going to elevate everything else. So come up with 10. I know it's like, that's a lot, but do it. Come up with 10. And then you're going to turn that around over here. Now, we're not going to be woo-woo in the sense of going, okay, like, I'm just going to speak it into existence. I don't believe that happens. I do think that you will start gravitating toward the right things, and I'll get there in a second. But you're going to then take all those contrast statements and you're going to clarify how you're getting there. So an example is, I'm going to use the contrast statement of my kitchen. Like, I don't like that my kitchen is old and falling apart. So I love knowing that. I'm going to use that one. Or it feels good to know that I am in the process of saving up money to redo my kitchen. Or I'm in the process of increasing my income so that we can remodel our kitchen, whatever that looks like. So when you write it that way, it's like, oh, like, I'm not expecting this to be some sort of magic pill, but I am in the process of X, Y, and Z. Yes, I am. Like, I am in the process of that. And so it becomes empowering when you write it out with these statements. You guys have to do this. I know you think it's like you're above it. I thought I was above it for like 4 years. And then when I finally did it, I hit Premier. And then the year after, I hit Elite. I swear this works. What do you need, baby? Your airplane? Okay, Daddy can help you. Daddy can help you. His airplane. I don't know. So here again, I want you to read this about vision, but basically, you guys need to think about the life you want to create. If you don't, you're going to stay where you are. If you don't, you're never going to be able to quit to stay home with your kids. You know, if that's your goal. So I'm just kind of speaking from my own frame of reference. You just have to create, like, I want you to look 5 years into the future, maybe even 10, because sometimes for hitting our goals and getting to our vision, it takes a long time. Think about that. And where do you really want to be? Do you want to be working the same job you're working? Maybe you do, but know if you want to be doing that. Do you want to have kids at that point? It's okay if you don't, but know what you want at that point. Do you want to be earning 6 figures with Beachbody? Because in 5 years, if you hustle and do the things that some of us are about to talk to you about, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. I know it's, hold on. The shake life in this house is for everybody. So anyways, he said, I'm sorry. It's totally fine. But I want you to just genuinely think about, what do you want it to look like? It doesn't have to look like what Lauren says. It doesn't have to look like what Angela or Carly or Alexis all say. I want you to genuinely think. For some people, you're like, I don't want to make millions. I just want to pay my bills and sit quiet on some land and rock my babies. And that's all I want to do. And I don't want to walk across stages, and I don't want to go on fancy trips. I just want to be comfortable. And that's what I want. And that's fine. I just want you to know what you want. So if you're ever like, oh, I don't need a new kitchen, like, don't make that your goal, like, at all. I genuinely need one. The drawers are falling off. And allow yourself to dream, okay? When I first wrote down, I see myself as an elite coach walking across the stage, I did not even really believe that could happen. But I thought, but if I don't write it down, then I won't even hit premiere. You know, you have to dream big, and you have to be able to see yourself doing the things. All right. Like when it's called a vision for a reason. When you literally can, like, shut your eyes and envision yourself doing the thing. Like for me this year, because like I said, I'm not setting any goals where I'm walking across stages or doing anything that could potentially be canceled. That's off my board right now. I can't suffer another loss. So for me, I'm envisioning earning that money and, like, changing out my drawers. And I'm envisioning the light gray bottom cabinets that I want. And I'm envisioning the backsplash that I want and what that would be like to walk into my kitchen like that. It's not like living in this dream world, but it's like, if I can think this up, I can do it. That's the cool thing about how God created us. If you think up something and it's a good thing, it's not evil, and it's a good thing, and it serves your family, and it serves a good, healthy, like, holy purpose, which for me is serving my family in a way more convenient way, then it's allowed. You're allowed to go for that. Now, if it doesn't come true, it doesn't mean that God hates you and that he doesn't love the things that you love. That is not the truth. But if you're allowed to go after your dreams, I think that's one of the fun things about what God did for humans is he's like, hey, I'm going to, like, plant this little thing in your heart. And then I'm going to show you the work ethic for you to run after that. And you're going to serve people while you do it. And it's going to be really fun. And it's going to be hard. And you're going to learn lessons from it, because that's what God does. But it's going to be really fun in the end. So with this vision, you're going to write, I see myself, blah. I see myself being a patient wife and mother. That's on my vision every single time, by the way. I see myself actually sticking to my Bible reading plan. I see myself waking up early at 4:40 a.m. to get my workouts in. I see myself finishing a program for the first time in my life. I see myself, you see where you can go with this? Like, it's literally just whatever lights your fire, you're going to write down on this. One is like, I see myself leading a challenge group that is super fun and enthusiastic and encouraging. Like, it can be even something that simple. I see myself finally building up the courage to invite one woman a day to do this with me. Just one thing, like, just write down, just let it flow. Which even after I started doing this, I listened to a podcast by Rachel Hollis, and she does the exact same thing. So I'm like, guys, listen to what these people are saying. They clearly know what they're doing. Write out the vision that you have for your life. And so for my women on here that are believers, because I get this question in my like a private message a lot after I do a call like this, is, hey, so like I don't really believe in like manifesting things because I think, it's like it's God ordained. And I'm like, I get that. What this becomes for me is a prayer list. Like, do you think if you're praying every day, God, please make me a patient and kind mother, do you think he's going to spit on that? No, like he calls you to be patient and kind and a good mother in the first place. If you're praying for that, he's going to grant that. Or like, Lord, help me serve my clients better. Like, yeah, he's going to help you do that. That's a godly, holy thing to serve people well. So like whatever these visions are, even for like a new kitchen, like you're still his child. I have a husband who is a father, and there are times our kids come and ask him for things they don't need, but he loves to give it to them. He loves to give them good and perfect gifts because he's their father. And if there's one thing I want you guys walking away from this call, it's that God is a provider and he gives you what he needs, but he's also a really good dad. And sometimes he gives you what you want. He loves your joy just as much as my husband loves seeing the joy on his boy's face when he buys them Legos for no reason. So there's God for you today. Then you're going to do vision for Q2. So your vision is going to change as you go throughout the year, because sometimes you're going to hit that. And then sometimes you're going to see some more places that you need to work on. So it's a little bit of both there. Sometimes you'll be like, well, I think I nailed that. Like, I think I got this one. So you can move past it. And then sometimes you're going to add more as you go. Vision 3, Q4, developing your brand. That's a different call for a different day, but that's really, really good stuff there. And then I think I'm going to be done. Yeah, I'm going to be done. And this actually goes right into it. Carly, were you next? I can't remember now. Sorry.
You listed Alexis next, but I can totally go next.
That's right, because Alexis was going to talk about time management. So master your time. Take it away, Alexis. I'm going to stop my share.
Okay, I thought I was doing communicating with the spouse. Was Carly doing
time? That's right. You're right. Go. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Me or Carly? Sorry, I pointed that way because Carly's right here for me.
well, sorry, you're right here. Alexis, I think you are really good for after talking about a vision, because sometimes we have spouses that don't see the vision.
Yes.
So
okay.
Helpful.
So now that Lauren has laid out like how you set your goals and how to set goals, it's really important to communicate those goals. So some of you are married, some of you may not be married and just have like a close-knit group of friends. But it is important to communicate with those people. And that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about here in my 3 to 5 minutes, I guess, because communication really changed my business last year. I was able to say, like, I set my goals and I said, hey, Austin, who's my husband, for those of you who don't know, this is what I want to do. I want to save up money to pay for taxes. I want to, LOL, go on a Success Club trip and have it all paid for. Funny story. I did not go because it got canceled. I didn't go because I got pregnant. So there's that. Another one of those God things. Like, here are the goals. I want, like I said, save up and pay for all of our personal and property taxes. So we have that in the bank, and that way it doesn't touch our savings or anything like that. I want to pay off our car. And we set goals together. Like, hey, this would be really cool if we could do this or save for this. So really, like, bringing him into that conversation not only made me more accountable, but we were also able to like dream together and create these ideas together. And it also made me feel less guilty about asking for like time to myself to work. So because we had set these goals together and we had communicated these things, I didn't feel as bad coming to him and saying, hey, like, I need 2 hours tomorrow to sit down and work. Or like last night, hey, I'm going to be on a call tomorrow. You're on full-time dad duty with both the boys for like an hour and a half. And communicating that with him, like he understands why I'm doing it. He knows the goals that we're working towards, and it makes me feel less of the mom guilt, less of the wife guilt when I have those previously communicated. And not just communicating your goals, but communicate successes and victories with them too. Like something that we set back in January of last year was I wanted to hit 12 months of Success Club so I could get that Theragun. And so all month, Austin and I have been talking, oh, do we get the Theragun yet? Do we have the Theragun yet? So it's been a lot of fun to shoot for those goals together. And if you're not married, communicate with a friend or a parent. I talk about my business to my mom all the time. And so she's always asking me, hey, how are you doing with Success Club? Did you hit your Success Club goal this month? And that she's encouraging me, but she's also keeping me accountable. I can't just like shy away and be like, oh no, I really suck this month. I'm sorry, mom. Like, then she bounces off ideas and we talk about those things. Two things that I really want to encourage you with. One is that make sure you are truthful about your goals. Don't make them big and lofty, or don't make them too small, because then if you just hit these really small goals, like, oh, I want to make $50 all year, like, that's not going to push you. That's not going to challenge you. Make sure you find that good, like middle of the road, not, oh, I want to make $1 million my first year. Oh, I want to make $50 my first year. Like find something that's achievable, but will also push you as a person and challenge you to get better. And then my last little piece of advice is going to be to keep your circle small and trustworthy, because there are people who want to see you fail. So when you share your goals with everybody that you come into contact with, like old friends from high school, or people who just ask about your business and don't really want to join, I'm just going to encourage you to make sure that you know who your trustworthy circle is, because that might be 5 to 10 people, and that's okay. Like you don't have to explain yourself to the whole world. You don't have to explain your goals, your successes, your failures. But you do need that small circle to encourage you and to keep you going. So communication is kind of all it wrapped into that. Sorry, words are hard. I haven't spoken to adults in such a long time. So maternity leave props. Anyway, that's really all I have for you. Just communicate with your spouse or your small circle. Set truthful goals that will challenge you, but also not goals that are going to discourage you because they're so big. And yeah, ask people to hold you accountable and cheer you on and celebrate with you.
One thing I did, and I didn't know I was doing it, was I would listen to the National Wake Up Call in front of Josh. And it wasn't like I was like purposely like opening it up right in front of him. But he would hear those coach stories at the very beginning, because usually they're always like, well, we were in $60,000 of debt and I was sick of living my life that way. And so finally our credit card got declined at Walmart and it was the last straw. And so now we're out of debt, and now we're this and now we're that. And like hearing those stories enough times, Josh was like, oh, this isn't like a little thing she does, and so I think sometimes you're allowed to like share those stories, like, and sometimes it can even just be like you going to him and saying, well, I listened to a wake up call and this is what this family did. And just kind of showing that it's a family thing and not really just a woman thing, because they really do think sometimes that it's a woman thing. And I highly encourage you, because I know there are a few of you on this call who have husbands that are, they just think it's a silly game that you're playing, just to put it kindly. I would really encourage you to go to Melanie Mitro's Women Inspiring Women podcast and scroll until you find her podcast on the supportive, or in her case, very unsupportive husband. She was the #1 coach in the network for 3 years. And at the beginning of her business journey, there was actual throwing of things whenever he found out that she was doing an at-home workout business. So very not supportive, but their marriage has evolved and they're doing fine. And he quit his job and supports her 100%. So she has some really good things to say on just how to communicate. And Carly, you're going to talk about scheduling because you have 2 small kids. So
Yes. And kind of feeding off of what Alexis said as well. This is my problem, like personal outside of Beachbody, but I very much struggle with my husband is willing to help, but he doesn't read my mind. So I have to say, hey, I have a call at 8. I need you to watch both boys. And if y'all could see my screen, Hayes was just in here, but it's like he's not going to do it if I don't ask him to because he's a man. But anyways, and I was feeling myself getting frustrated in that. And so make sure communication is key. So something I'm going to talk about is consistency and scheduling for success. And this is kind of my jam because I'm very OCD. I'm very much so. Even my kids are on a schedule to a fault. My mother-in-law this morning was like, really want Hayes to spend the night. And I'm like, if you don't stick to his routine, it's not going to happen. Like he just doesn't, he says he doesn't like to stay over there. So very much routine family here, and that's okay. And if you're not, that's okay as well. But there are things that if you want to have a successful business, you do need to outline and stick to because I was actually talking to my husband about what I was going to speak about this morning. And as I was thinking, like, I am a very consistent human being in whatever I do. And some people are not. My brother and sister-in-law have a very alternative life, and that is okay. That's how they operate. That's how we operate. But when you think about it, I know a lot of us here have kids or have animals. If you're going to think about who would you want to babysit your children? Who would you want to nanny? Would you want somebody that's going to show up all the time? Or would you want somebody that's going to flake on you and you have to like find other routes? You have to do things on your own, that type of thing. When you think about coaching, think about that. Do you want somebody for your coach personally? Do you want them to be there and be accessible and lead from an example? Or do you want somebody that you're going to kind of have to like be like, oh, they're not there again. Like, I'm going to have to figure this out on my own. And so also, sorry if you can hear Coleman. He is the loudest child on the face of the planet. He's happy. He's just loud. So scheduling for success. This is where your business activity tracker comes into play. If you don't know what that is, we will send a link. I will send a link. Your business activity tracker is laid out for you. It is in, Lauren puts it in the coach game plan. So just keep following through. When she was sharing her screen, the next thing was mastering your time. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and then go into the activity tracker because it kind of goes hand in hand. But basically, when you think about what we kind of call them as non-negotiables, my coaches and what we talk about. And so things that are non-negotiable. So the things you want to do, you don't have to be a morning person at all. But a lot of times setting your morning up straight and doing the things that you know, like for me, if I don't work out first thing in the morning, it kind of hangs over my head and I'm not as pleasant of a human being without it. Like I'm genuinely concerned with the fact that Autumn really wants us to take 2 days off. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to walk on the treadmill, run on the treadmill, do something because I have a 3-year-old and a 11-month-old that are both they're just a lot. So I have to have that moment for myself. So in the morning, something I do not do, I fail to do is get in the Word, read my Bible, do my devotional if I don't do it first thing in the morning, because once they're up, like I am theirs pretty much. They are both very needy. They're still in that needy stage. Like I have to give everything to them when they're awake. So in the morning, I have to be intentional with my time. And that is something, if you kind of read through the coach game plan, it's like do not necessarily the things you don't want to do first, but do the things you know you can't do later. And then go through the things you don't want to do. And so like emptying the dishwasher. I hate emptying the dishwasher. So I do it first thing as soon as I'm up because it's out of the way. I don't have it hanging over my head the rest of the day. Same with my workout. So you just need to find what works for you. Everybody is different. And then everybody has different things that they thrive at and different times of the day that they thrive at. For me, it's morning right now, but also in the same sense of that, I have very young kids and I know a lot looking at you guys. I know a lot of you do. Those seasons change like weekly. So there for a hot minute, Coleman was getting up at 4 to eat and then going back down. And I would stay up and then do all the things. Well, now he's sleeping until 5 and then not wanting to go back down. And so that routine has had to change because I ain't trying to work out with him out there annoying me. So your seasons will change. And what looks like for me may not work for Lauren or may not work for Alexis. And that is where like at first I struggled with the communicating with my husband. Like I would see everybody on the call and I'm like, their kids are not in the screen. I can hear mine screaming and trying to run up and everything. And I mean, as Hank's and Lauren's life right now, but communicate with your family, master your time, set your routines for the morning. And then you need to be intentional with what you want to do for your business. So not every day you are going to have time to sit down for 3 hours in front of a computer uninterrupted and work on a business. And that is perfectly fine. For those of you that you may have that time on a certain day of a week, and that is fine as well. But I'm a full fan of setting timers, setting intention. So I'm also kind of like, as scheduled as I am, I'm kind of like, oh, squirrel. So I will start working on something and then I'll realize, oh, I need to change the laundry. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. And all of a sudden I'm 10 steps down the road and not where I was started. So I love to set timers. And so I'll be like, I will get down to when I look at my business activity tracker, circling back around there. One of the things is inviting. I will set a timer. I'm going to invite for 10 minutes. And I have to be intentional with that as well, because as I start inviting, yesterday I was like on a Blake Shelton, Gwen Stefani rabbit hole. And so did not know they were engaged. Side note, missed that one. But anyways, I will set timers on inviting, and then I will set timers on, I will set a post. I will make a post. I will go to Lightroom and filter my pictures. And then I will set timers through everything through that business activity tracker, checking in my challenge group. So this is something, when I was talking about things that like you don't necessarily want to do, but you need to do, I'm still not a fan of bod groups, if we're going to be really honest. And so when I try to make myself post in there every single day, like just do my post for my girls, not my workout post, not my Shakeology post, but like an inspirational, like peppy post, it just frustrates me if I try to do it every day. So what I will do is I will sit down. So I've already done it for the entire month of January. I will sit down and I will schedule all the way through the month. That way it's done. I don't have to worry about it because it aggravates me. And then that way, when I do feel led to post something, I can go in and inspire others on their posts. I can post my workouts, my shakes. I can do all the other things and then connect with them in other ways so that is done. I don't have to worry about it. So I highly recommend you do that if that's something you like to struggle with. And then if there is something like January 30th, I already have something scheduled, but I may like all of a sudden feel led to listen to podcasts. I will go in and post 2 for a day. I mean, you're never going to give people too much. So that is something I highly recommend doing, is scheduling ahead. And then in the planner or the Coach Game Plan, you can schedule ahead your social media posts as well. So the best way for me to feel led for a social media post is when I do my PD. So if I'm listening to a podcast or something, I'm like, ooh, that's a great post. My flaw is I don't have pictures. I'm like, that's a really good post, but I don't have pictures yet. And so I will go ahead and write out, because I don't know if you're all like me, but the second kid did my brain in. I don't remember anything. And so if I'm like, that's a really good post, I will go into my Coach Game Planner where it has at the bottom your layout for your Monday through Friday, or Monday through Sunday through Saturday social media posts. I will go in and I will write, this is what I want to post about this week, because on Tuesday, I'm not going to remember what I thought on Sunday that would be a good post. So that way it's there. And then in the meantime, when I fix my hair or when I feel like I could actually have real clothes on in a bra, I will take a picture and then I will have it scheduled for that week. So I will even go into my notes or go into the Plan app and type it all the way out. And then, oh yes, Planoly is a great app to use for holding posts as well. So I will even go in and type it all out when I have a minute. And then that way it's just ready, so that when it's a good time to post, I don't have, if I have a screaming baby, all I got to do is copy and paste. There she goes. You can even plan it to where it like will post for you as well. I don't do that because of a variety of reasons, but you can do that as well. So you can go into scheduling pretty much every area of your life. Talking about a little bit more of scheduling and being consistent. This is going to be kind of tough love. And oh yes, adding a workout off days. Okay, so this is going to be kind of tough love, and I'm going to say it anyways. If you're not consistent, which there's a difference in being consistent and like taking time to rest, taking time to take care of yourself. I'm all for, like, I didn't go on the coach retreat with Lauren to Destin and it killed me, but my marriage needed me at that moment. Like there is things that like you can step away from the coaching business to do things for yourself and for your life. Like that is okay. Don't hear me say that. Don't hear that from this. But at the same time, if you really want to make a business out of this, like it is a career, it is a job. There is such thing as hobby coaching, and that is fine. But in that too, if you're just going to take 1 or 2 customers, you still need to give them your all too. And so don't hear me say that you cannot do things for yourself, because you can. But at the same time, you do need to take this seriously. If you want a business out of this, if you want a business out of this, it is a business, it is a career, just like teaching, just like being a banker, just like being a doctor, whatever you want to do. That is the beauty of Beachbody, is you can put in it what you want to put in it, but that's what you're going to get out of it as well. So if you really want it and you're not seeing the things, then check yourself first, lead from the front, do the business activity tracker. And then I am full-fledged. Like I will make a billboard when I am doing the business activity tracker, when I am showing up for my business like I want to, my business, I reap the benefits of that. But right now I kind of took a little like hiatus during the holidays, and like my kid broke his arm, and then all the excuses, and I can see it in my business and in my income. So I'm gonna hop off my hot seat for a second. I don't know who was next, but there's my preaching for the day.
Me, I'm next. So good morning. I'm gonna chit chat with you guys for a minute about overcoming fears. So first off, I just want to say, like, any fears you have about your business, your fitness, anything, they're 100% valid, but that doesn't mean that we don't have to face them. So like, for example, when I first started coaching almost a year ago, I was very, very fearful of like people's approval. One, like, I have a lot of friends that are into fitness. One of my best friends has like a booming personal training business. And I'm like, she's going to be like, what am I doing? You're an idiot. You're a dental hygienist. Who are you to like do this? I was really, really nervous because I was also stepping away from like another MLM to do this. And I thought that I had no credibility. And those were really valid. But like Lauren just told me when I sat down to be like, hey, I want to coach, but I'm scared. She was like, that's okay. Just get over it. Just face it. You know, I mean, she said it way nicer than that, but that's how I work. A little tough love is good for me. So thanks, Carly, on those. But I wrote down a few reasons that we're probably all scared, either beginning or when we like take a step back from coaching and we're like going to jump back in, things that are scary. So the first is like, what if people make fun of me? There are people out there that are probably making fun of you. Just come to terms with that. And that is on them. That's not on you. And it just goes back to the whole like hurt people things. And when people are insecure in their self, they're watching you succeed and they're like, oh my gosh, how stupid is it that she posts her workouts? Because they're sitting on the couch with a bag of chips and they don't have the determination to get up and do it themselves. So anytime you're afraid that someone's out there making fun of you, who cares? Because you are here for yourself and for the women that you're going to change their life. You're not here for the trolls in the background of Instagram that are just your viewers. So the second thing that makes us scared is that people are going to say no when we invite them. And that's true. People are going to say no. But the really good thing about it is people are also going to say yes. So if you never reach out to someone, you're really withholding from them what has changed your life. So when you're scared, it's okay. We're not like face to face having to go down the line and be like, oh yeah, this person is my friend. We were in band together and then we like ran into each other in college a couple times. Like, no, we kind of get to hide behind Instagram. So once you've built up that relationship and you have reconnected with that person and you're ready to invite them, they may say no, but what if they say yes? You don't want to withhold, like I said, the thing that has changed your life, the thing that has allowed your fitness to get in check, your emotions to get in check, your income to grow, because they very well probably need one of those aspects also. So don't be afraid of no, because it happens. It happens to all of us, but we also get yeses along the way. The third thing is we're afraid that we're going to fail. And I don't like the term fail because it's so negative, but we have times we don't meet our goals and then we're able to learn from them. There's going to be times you don't meet your goals, like just being transparent. I didn't meet my Success Club goal this last month, but that's okay. Like Carly said, I see the things that I didn't do. And then this month, I'm just going to change those things. So I see the areas I was inconsistent. I see the ways I like failed, but that's just going to add fuel to my fire to look at this month a lot differently and use my time a lot more wisely. There's going to be things that you fail from, but they could be Like you say the wrong thing to someone and you're like, oh my gosh, like why did I say that in that conversation? That's so icky. Just change it next time. You have all the opportunities, everybody you talk to. You forget to follow up. Circle back to them. Lauren taught me to say this, like, hey, so sorry for not following up sooner. I was caught up in the holiday hustle. Like, just put it back on yourself. Just always learn from your mistake. Don't let it be like, man, I failed. I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel, because all of us that are talking to you today, we have like quote unquote failed in some aspect, and we just use our failures to teach you guys how to not fail the same way. And then the last thing is like, you're just scared to share. Like, someone put in the group thread the other day, do you ever like make a vulnerable post and then want to like go hide in a room? And that's so true. Like, we're so scared to be vulnerable on social media, but like, how did you get here? Did you get here because someone was like, I'm doing a 21-day program. Who wants to join and lose weight? Like, no, you joined because someone was like, guys, I was at rock bottom. This is what I did. It was hard and it changed my life. You're here because someone else was vulnerable. Someone reached out to you and shared what was going on wrong in their life and how they've overcome. So don't be afraid to share that transformation photo when you're ready. I know that it is a process to get there because it is a very vulnerable thing. Don't be afraid to share how you're struggling in your life and how Beachbody has changed that and made it better. Because there's someone out there that's needing it. Like when you're afraid to share something that's hard in your life, there's someone scrolling through your posts every day that is going through the exact same thing. So that's kind of all I have, but writing down the things you're afraid of and facing them is huge. So sometimes I just like jot down. It doesn't even have to be full sentences. It doesn't have to be big like your vision, because I don't think our fears deserve that much time. But just jotting down those things that we're afraid of and being able to like hit the nail on the head, identify them, and just be like, how can I get over this? And put that in the thread. If you're like, hey guys, I'm really, really struggling with XYZ, we would love to help you like brainstorm. And there's somebody else in our group right here that's struggling with the same fears. So just face your fears and overcome them, and go team.
Yes. One thing I just wanted to add real quick, and this was an afterthought, but I was like, oh, this is that time of year. A lot of people you'll see are making vision boards or dream boards or goal boards, whatever you want to call those things. I just wanted to share mine from like last year. I haven't updated it, but literally it's just a bulletin board that I think I got at like Target. And I just put pictures of things that like made me excited. So like when I say made me excited, I mean like transformation photos of some of you guys. Like that's something that keeps me going. I put a picture of the Success Club trip on there. And I put a picture of my family on there, and like other things that just really like, and I have a picture of our like getting out of debt goals and all that stuff. And I just put it where I'm going to actually see it and where I'm going to feel the most motivated when I see it. And for me, that's where I'm working out. There is nothing more motivating to me than when I'm in the middle of Amwala yelling at me and I look at my goal board and I'm like, heck yes, Amwala, I'm going to do that rep. Heck yes, my dreams, I'm going to do those other reps, AKA our business activity tracker, and hit these goals as well. Because for me, fitness and our dreams, like our business activity tracker, go hand in hand. It's just it's a mental fitness versus a physical fitness. So put those things where you're going to see them. If you're like, I don't even know where to start with a schedule right now, Lauren, what do I do? Then here's what I would suggest first. Set a time that you're going to do your workout. Prioritize your workouts, prioritize your wellness. And then wherever it is that you are doing your workouts, put your vision board there, or your contrast and clarity sheets. Do those before your workout. Like as you're, drinking your read those. Then move to your Bible or whatever your reading is for the day. Like I really encourage you to kind of lump it all together so you can check off so many things all at once. because that to me is what has helped me the most is if everything is all in different places and I'm having to like, okay, now I'm doing my contrast and clarity things. Now I'm doing this. Then it becomes this like overwhelming thing. But if I'm sitting there putting my tennis shoes on, looking over my contrast and clarity statements for the day, and I say those out loud, by the way, like I have to say them out loud or I don't take it seriously. Then that's when I'm like, okay, like it just becomes like this thing that I do instead of this like awkward, overwhelming thing. So if I had to say, here's how you can get started today, that's how I would do it, is set up your workout space where it is the most inspiring place you'll ever be. And it's your place and it's where and I understand some of you are in your living room, but you know what? Show your kids how to set dreams. Put your vision board there anyway. It's not going to kill anybody. So that is basically all I have. Any questions or anything anyone wants to add that's been helpful to them? Well, all right then. Let's take a pick. I took one, but Angela was talking and I don't think she'd appreciate it. All right, 3, 2, 1. I love when the cameras come on. Okay, this is good. I'll send it to our group chat.